So there was something that I forgot to um, touch up on in my video videos, and that was when I mentioned that it's better to let people deal with their problems, and not in the sense that like you know what's a good example? World hunger. If there's hungry people on the streets, I'm not saying like that's their problem. I don't mean like like let those people deal with their problems. I mean like negativity as far as like people being jerks to you for whatever the case may be. It's better to let them deal with the negativity than to let you deal with the negativity, if that makes sense. Um, it's like, excuse me, a good way to put it is, do you want that weight on your shoulders? Like, if it's not your problem. Um, and I can give another example of from my life experiences that I had living with somebody. Um, you know, he turned out to be like when we started living together. He was, a really good person. Um, where, like, he was normal. I'll say he was normal. He was cool. Like, we were friends. We started off as friends, and then it became a little more than that. And we started living together, and then I started to notice him changing. Or I started to see the dark side of him, if you will. And, it put me in a dark place because I would, I would let the things that he would say to me get to me. And I mean, excuse me, he would put me down um, all the time. I was treated like shit, treated like dirt, and I started to kind of like I started to let it affect me. I started to let it affect my happiness. And I was noticing that I would start acting like a bitch, like I was becoming a fucking bitch back to him. And God, sorry. And that's when I learned, you know what, I need water. That's when I learned, there you go. That's when I learned that some issues you should let some people deal with those issues. Like the biggest thing that he would get on my case for was me being fat, and it's fucked up. Like, girls already take a lot of shit, like because of beauty standards and all that bullshit. And then when it's a person that you think you love, like you're with this person, you live with him, you do so much together, or with for him, whatever, um, it really hurts. It really hurts when it's somebody that you care about that's saying these things to you, like, oh, you're fat. That was like the main thing, was that I was fat, okay? And like I said, I started to let it hurt me. I started to let it get to me, and I was crushed. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with crying. Like it's wonderful when a person can let out some of the pain that they hold inside, okay? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with crying, but I would cry so much. I was hurting so much because of all the shit that I was putting up with. All the, especially the your fat shit. Like that, like, okay, I know I'm fucking fat. I don't need to fucking hear it from you, asshole. Um, but then I'm getting off subject. So see, like, that's an example. Over time, I lived with him for almost 3 years, about 3 years. Um, over time, it really started to affect me. I started feeling sorry for myself. I started believing what he was saying. And again, I already know I'm fat, but what I mean about believing what he was saying is that it was like taking over my mind. You know, like, oh, you're a fat ugly bitch and that's all you're ever gonna be. No, no, don't let it take over your mind. You know what? If he wants to call me fat, let him deal with it. If he wants to start drama over that, let him deal with it. You get what I'm saying? I learned that over time. I mean, it got to a point where I just kind of stopped caring altogether, which isn't the best thing either. But that's when I was starting to kill with kindness because I realized that why am I gonna suffer? Why am I why am I gonna be the one suffering over some words that he's saying? Like, who the fuck is he? He ain't shit. You know, like, why am I gonna let it affect me? And that's what I mean by letting letting people that are fucking assholes deal with their problems. You know? Let it stay on his mind. You know? I'm gonna get rid of it. Like you said it, brush it off my shoulders, you know, I don't care anymore. Like like that. And if he still wants to think about that, if he still wants to start arguments over that, let him do it. I'm not gonna waste my time, my effort. If I can't change their opinion, his opinion, I can't change his opinion. I can't change who he is as a person. I can't change what he's gonna say to me. Why waste my time? Why put effort? You know? In the long run, it's just gonna hurt me if I do that. If I if I let it affect me enough. So there's some things that it's better to just let those people deal with their problems themselves. You know, negativity, racism, fucked up shit like that. Like it does affect other people and it does affect everyone, but it's so hard. It's so hard to um to learn that as far as to letting people deal with their own stuff, you know? But in the end it's worth it because your happiness matters. You know? Happiness matters. If there's someone who's being supported of is there someone being supportive of you? That's great. That's great. And if they're supporting you and they're trying to, you know, increase your happiness, that's a beautiful thing. But when they're just kind of like, it's like hitting a wall, you know, like you want to be happy and then they're trying to bring you down, let them deal with that. Let them bring themselves down if they don't want to be happy. Don't let it rub off on you. Um, let them deal with the stress, you know? Don't stress over that. There's millions of people in the world. Like we said earlier, there's bound to be one person that can really appreciate you for who you are. You know, and even then, as fucked up as this may sound, you also can't rely on other people either. Like I just said right now, you know, there's excuse me, there's bound to be at least one person out there that would care, would appreciate you for who you are. Um, you, you know, like you can't rely on that. You need to make yourself happy and positive. I mean, of course, like, you know, spread the love and everything, of course. But in the end, you're the only one who can change how you feel. You're the only one who can really affect yourself. So even though he was calling me fat and ugly, I was the one who at first was letting it hurt me. I was letting it bring down my wall. Bless you! Bless you! Sorry, my cat sneezed. Um, I was letting it get to me, and then I learned, bless you, and then I learned, you know, I'm not gonna let it get to me anymore. You know, he called me fat, and I would laugh, and I would be like, whatever, I don't care, and I would just leave. You know, I'd just walk out of the room, go to another room, because I didn't want to be around that poison. You know, but I mean, like we stopped talking for a while, and I kind of felt like I don't know if I had done something wrong to change who he was when we met, or if that's just really the person he is deep down inside. But I did apologize to him eventually. You know, I apologized to him and I let him know it wasn't right. It wasn't right for me to stoop down to your level. I didn't say it exactly like that, but kind of in a sense like, you know, I'm sorry that I was a bitch. Even though, like, I truthfully feel like you were a bitch to me, that didn't give me the right to give it back to you. You know, and for that, because I want to be a forgive and forget person. You know, I mean, I'm never gonna forget this. You know, there's an experience that I have, an experience that I'm gonna carry with me for the rest of my life. You know, there's no way that I'm ever gonna forget what happened between us. But it was an experience, you know? And by forgive and forget, I don't mean like, oh, forget, because no, it's impossible, especially if someone did something that really, really fucked you up. That's different. Forgive and forget, I mean like, I forgave him, and now it's just in the back of my head. Like, I'm not even gonna let it affect me. So, I mean, forget like that. Like, I'm not, like, I'm forgetting it, like, it's not important to me right now where I am in my life, because he's not gonna affect me anymore. And that's how it's gonna be. You know, and that's the choice that I made, and that's something that we we need to learn. Is that we make ourselves feel however we feel. I can watch a movie and it can make me feel sad, but I'm the one who's gonna let it affect me. You can be in a heated argument with your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You can be in a heated argument with them, but am I gonna let it make me mad? You know? And usually, usually I choose not to. You know? And it's hard. Sometimes it takes getting out of the situation, like walking away. You know, there's nothing wrong with walking away. In fact, I give props to people who are able to just walk away from a really bad situation instead of feeding into it. You know what I mean? And then, like, the shady shit is that sometimes people will be fucked up just to get a reaction out of you. They literally just want to try to get a reaction out of you. Don't give it to them. No. Like, if that means that you have to leave, like, go take a walk or just go outside, go smoke something, you know, on the balcony, whatever the case may be, go drink. You know, different people handle their situations differently. But whatever it takes to avoid that situation in general and to keep yourself calm and to be able to move on with life, that is a big deal. That's important. Because the more you think about something, the more you dwell on it, the more that it like kills you from the inside. You know? It kills you. It causes depression. It causes anger. It causes retaliation. And those are all things that are not good for a person. You know, even though people are these crazy things with like so many emotions and stuff. I mean, those specific emotions, sadness, depression, anger, hatred, all that, it's like carrying a weight on our shoulders. You know? Carrying a heavy weight on your shoulder. And it feels really good. It feels really good when you could just throw it all off. Throw it all off and not even care, you know? And it takes a lot of strength to do that. It really does. And you'll learn about yourself. You'll learn a lot about yourself while you're going through life and while you're trying to do these things. You know, the whole letting people deal with their own problems and being calm and being understanding and not giving a fuck and learning people can't change themselves. People can only change themselves. Like, it'll carry you far in life, and it'll just make it'll make everything more enjoyable. Well, it'll make life more enjoyable. And, I think that's important, you know? It's important to be able to be happy. I want to die happy. You know, I'm not scared to die. I don't know when I'm gonna die, how I'm gonna die. I just want to die happy. You know, I think that's important. I want my spirit to be happy, to be released. I don't want it to live on earth because of, you know, something that I couldn't finish, unresolved problems, issues. That's not the person I want to be. Um, that's not the spirit I want to be, whatever. So, yeah, just, you know, for a lot of things, when people are trying to create a problem for you, just ignore it. Let them deal with the problem themselves, you know. Um, I still stuck by his side, even after everything. Again, I told you that I apologized to him, and, you know, we're okay now, you know? Like, he told me he doesn't hold grudges, I told him I don't hold grudges. Forgive and forget, move on. I'm not willing to be mad at him for the rest of my life. Again, it was an experience. Excuse me, I wouldn't be who I am right now if it wasn't for what happened in my life, what happened with him. Learning everything. Well, I also learned that it's better to live with somebody first to get to know them. Because once you live with people, whew, I mean, people can be way different than you thought. Um, you know, we all have that. Like, we all have those parts of us that we don't want to show new people. You know, we don't want to scare people away. You know, we all have those really dark parts in our head, really fucked up thoughts, fucked up parts of us, but I ain't gonna act on it, you know? Uh, Girl, I'm telling girls. I mean, there were times I wanted to kill him, but I never did it. You know, I didn't act on it. I was just like, oh, God, he's so poisonous. Like, driving me crazy. Like, but again, it was in the past. It was in the past, and I'm a better person for it. I've learned so much about myself because of him, because of that experience. You know, I've learned to forgive and forget. I've learned to move on. I've learned to let people deal with their own problems. Not, and again, I don't mean let people deal with their own problems. Like, if someone is struggling to get away from a burglar or something, to let them deal with that. No, you know, I mean, hey, if you can help, that'd be awesome. I mean, let people deal with their own problems as far as negativity goes. But, you know, I already explained all that. I'm not gonna, like, say it all again. Um, so yeah, you know, and, you know, there's bad experiences in life, and there's good experiences in life. You shouldn't regret anything. I mean, yeah, we all have regrets. I guess I can't say you shouldn't regret anything. I mean, I have a lot of regrets too, but I'm not dwelling on it. That's the difference. Is the dwelling on the regrets, the dwelling on what happened in my past, the dwelling on the hatred, the dwelling on the pain that people put me through. That's where it becomes poisonous. But when you take an experience that's happened in your life and you turn it into something positive, there's no greater reward than that because it'll make you a better person. And that's really what I wanted to add. And, and that's it. So thank you very much. And hope your day goes well.